It's down to one car for the win. Is it his time?
All righty, here we are, Cameron, TL2, JL. Let's kick off this podcast with the big announcement. As you can tell from the video, we have a new name and a new logo. Shout out to all the constructive criticism we received with the first specimen of logo.
Constructive is a loose word.
But we are now the Pitchmark Collective. You can find us on Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify. Apple Podcasts are coming soon. Teddy and Justin, how we doing?
Dude, fantastic. How are you, Cameron?
You know, I threw up a quick prayer for you because I noticed that you failed to qualify for the 2010 U.S. Open.
I did.
That's a long time to go without trying again. So I'm sorry that you have such bad PTSD from that. So,
so the way, for those who don't know, we use StreamYard, and before you log in to StreamYard, it'll ask for like your name and then any like blurb that you want to do at the bottom. So I was sitting there for like 10 seconds trying to think of, I try to do a different one each episode. Mm-hmm. And I remembered that I tried qualifying for the US Open. I didn't make it, obviously.
And it's pretty cool. You at least tried.
I did try.
At least gave it a go.
But now here I am in my parents' basement, potting with you two guys. So
it could be worse.
You know, I'm not saying my life would have been any different if I had made it, but
do you remember what you shot?
Yeah, so when I did it, we were visiting my family in Virginia, and the closest one that could work with the dates we were going to be there was in, I want to say, Fredericksburg in Maryland, somewhere in Maryland. And it was some court. I had never played there before, and we played 36. I think I shot like it was for sure low 80s, probably 81 or 82 that first 18, and so it's pretty tough to even want to go back out for that second 18. But I did bounce back. I think I shot like 72 or 73. Wasn't even close. I think the two guys that made it through shot like mid 60s both rounds, and it was.
Weren't you like 15 in 2010?
2010, I would have been 16, 17.
Go out there, 16, 17-year-old, give it the old college try.
Yeah, well, it was one of those things. Might as well try it.
Yeah. I mean, I've been waiting to ask this all weekend. Was your golfing experience better this weekend than last?
No,
only because I didn't golf at all. Didn't golf.
You didn't even give himself the chance.
Didn't even give your car a chance to break down on the highway for you.
And so Friday, I went to a couple bars. Saturday was not up for it. But so I texted one of our buddies, who he sent a video of him hitting golf balls. He went to the driving range Saturday afternoon.
Shout out to Bernie.
It wasn't him. It was our buddy Ian. Although Mitchell might have hit balls. But so I said, props to you, Ian. Way to get out there and grind. This is exactly what I need to see. Text me tomorrow and make me go hit balls. He immediately responded and said, go hit balls tomorrow. I was like, that's not going to work. I need you to tell me this tomorrow. And he didn't text me Sunday. So there was no accountability or anything for me to go and practice. So
how did Lee?
And that right there is why Teddy lives in his mother's basement.
Yes, that's correct. League was not good.
Teddy, I'm noticing this downward spiral. Maybe we need to move out of your parents' basement. Or we need to figure something out about your golf game, because this is 4 weeks in a row of just complete shit.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, it was probably like 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks. I didn't this past weekend, and I didn't the weekend before that. But leading up to that, I started to play like somewhat consistently, and I started to play better. I was hitting the ball good. And I knew Thursday it was just going to be awful because of that lapse. For me, it's either got to be like consistently playing for an extended period of time, or 6 months off.
Just so random that you actually come out and play good.
Yes, like so those two settings, I'll be fine. But anything in between that, it's not pretty. It's not good.
Totally. Cam, how about yourself?
I had played golf. I played golf Saturday morning. We walked 18 at Spring Valley Golf Club in Elizabeth, Colorado, which is like 20 minutes east of Parker. So like consider it 40 minutes east of Denver as a more popular centralized location there. And I played very well for my 11.8 handicap self. I shot 81. I went 40, 41. Lowest round of the year. My lowest round last year was 80 with a putt to reach 79 on 18. So I played well that last summer as well. I'm glad to get a lower score out early on the season to hopefully build
whites
off
or
of.
blues.
We played the 6,500 tees, blues, I believe.
Blues.
Course was really neat. It wasn't like necessarily challenging off the tee, which bodes well for me because, as you know, I like to hit it right. I don't actually like to do it, but it's kind of what happens. But even then, my drives that missed the fairway weren't necessarily way offline. You know, maybe it scooted 5-6 yards into the rough. I hit a few fairway bunkers, which never pans out well for myself. That's where my one triple came from. But I had, I think, ultimately 7 pretty good looks at birdie and converted 3 of them. And just kept, you know, if I don't make that triple, keep it to a double even. I mean, that's 80. And if I convert one more birdie, 79. So overall, pretty good round. I went into 16, 17, and 18. If I birdied these 3 straight, I break 80. And I gave myself 3 really good birdie looks. So on 16, I had a 4-foot putt. It had like 19 feet of break, it seemed. I just missed it. Was not confident. I was terrified. My knees were knocking over the putt because of how much break was there.
Not because the copper fit was so tight around your ankles.
Cutting off bloodstream.
Yes. You know, it's funny because copper fit, compression. I have G4 socks, which are actually marketed as compression socks.
Really?
The short socks are compression. They're very, skin
tight. Do they work?
Oh, I love the G4 socks. I don't have the crew. I have the no-show or like the ankle socks. But they're great. They hold up well. Anyways, hole 17, par 3, 186. Hit a 7-iron to like 15 feet right of the pin. Leave the putt like a foot short, right in the center of it. Would have went in if I just gave it a little more oomph. It's funny because 18's par 5. Had like a 30-foot putt at birdie, and that's the one I make. I make the longest of the 3.
That's fun though. I mean, you leave on a good note.
Yeah, no, it was a great round. Played really well for myself. Lowered the handicap by like half a stroke. So hopefully we can build off that on Wednesday evening. 2 days from now. 3 days from now? 2. And keep it going. So.
Nice.
Justin, you played golf this weekend.
Yeah, I played all 3 days. So it's kind of like a normal thing. I'm starting to learn. I played too much golf for how bad I am. So Friday was awesome. Went and that was that reel that we did. I just went out and played with a couple of guys at the course. Like I belong to a muni, so just went out and jumped on with 2 randoms, and it was super fun. I don't know. I think I shot like 81, just kind of messing around with some stuff. Or no, I was in the 70s. I actually had a all right round.
It was 81. It was 81. All right.
And then I was actually pretty confident going into the Oregon Am qualifier on Saturday. My buddy and I drove over there. It was over at Tokatee, which is a super cool course. And for whatever reason, like Teddy, I'm sure there's a couple courses out there that you just don't play well.
Yeah.
And this is one of those courses. Like I love this course so much. Like the views, the condition, it's always got some of the best greens in Oregon. And I just play like dog shit. Like I've had one good round out of probably 20 out there. And it's just like, and it's in team event because my buddy Joey, who I rode over there with for this, we went over there for one of their events, and it was a 2-man best ball. It was their opener that they do every year, and they usually get about 70, 80 teams. And I shot like 75, 75. I think together, him and I were 69 both days, and we came in like 5th or something. There was a couple guys that went pretty low. But for the Oregon AM qualifier, went out there, shot 81. I knew it was going to be a long day, but this is the epitome of the first hole.
And by long day, you just mean long pace.
Just like long round. Yeah, I mean, tournament rounds are just obnoxiously long. But, and I got stung by a bee on the driving range while warming up. That was interesting. Like all of a sudden, just warming up and go like this. Bee lands right here, and now I've got this huge like silver dollar on my neck that's like all puffy. It's weird. But we get on the
allergic.
Yeah, we get on the first hole, and this guy that I know from one of the shops here in town swings so incredibly hard. He has a Ventus Black 6X, and he makes that thing like whip around like a regular shaft. Like it is crazy. And he just duck hooks it straight into the shit. Yeah. And no one says anything. And I'm like, I mean, I'd hit a professional, but okay. And we walk over there, and I'm like, I hope he knows what's over there, because I've never been that far left in my life. And like, I play cuts all the time. And we all look for it, can't find it. And he ends up walking back, duffs his second drive, goes to hit 3-wood from like women's tees, because we're all on the green at this point. Hits it about 150 yards. Then he's probably an iron in at that point and hits it over the green. So homie starts out with an 8.
This is the first hole?
First hole. First hole. So, it was kind of nice because we weren't like waiting on the second hole, because for whatever reason, there's always like just a mad buildup, and there's always like three groups on the tee box. So we didn't have to, sit there and wait with anyone. And we get to the third, and it was just a long wait. And I'm like, and he is like frustrated. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to pull a TL2, and I'm going to go to the cart gal. We're going to get some John Daly's, and we're going to try and do this right. So, I mean, neither of us played well. I just had this weird move where everything, I just was coming straight across it and pulling it. So iron shot.
Just like a nervous swing, maybe.
Yeah. And it was probably, I have this weird thing, like I hit the ball pretty far. And when there's someone that swings harder than me, it's really weird. Like it gets in my head. I don't know. It's like one of my weird things. So watching him swing so incredibly hard, and then I try and like back off completely, where I start swinging too easy. Like it's just this weird, because I'm like, damn, he looks like he's about to break his freaking back. So
what he's about to do is shoot an 8 on the first hole and get himself out of the tournament.
So I went 43-38. I mean, I came back on the back. You obviously saw it, Cam. First text I get was, you need a new putter. So the pros and cons of the Grint.
Well,
so
I saw 81 and then 37 putts, and I'm like, yeah, I mean,
yeah, it was
we could tell what was the problem for you.
But so that guy swung so incredibly hard, but was awesome to play with. He was hilarious. And then the other guy was just getting so pissed off at everything. He decided to tell us that his dad was going to come caddy for him at some point, and that we needed to watch because his dad is Scratch. And I'm like, we are all like 30 and 40 years old. Like, what the? This is odd. And
wait, he told you his dad was going to come caddy for him, and that we need to watch because he's Scratch. I'm confused.
It was weird.
Was he going to be hitting the shots for him?
He was going to share knowledge.
So he's the caddy,
I guess he was going to share knowledge or something. I don't know. It was just.
Is this the guy with the weird warm up or the weird
no routine? This is the different guy. So this guy with the dad, his dad showed up on like hole 8, and he got up and down, and then on hole 9 he made a putt for par, and he looks over at his dad and like literally yells across the green. He's like, "You're not leaving. I'm playing so much better that you're here now." And I was like, this is kind of odd. And then on 12, longer par 5, he pumps 2 drives into the woods, has to hit a third one, and we can't find the first 2, so he gets a 10. Then that wasn't even, and the guy with the weird warm up, like the whole weird Spieth thing, like going up and down like 4 feet on his warm up, nicest guy in the world. Like, I wanted that guy to play golf just because he was so cool and chill the entire time. But it was hilarious because he's wearing pants. It's like 86 degrees and humid. And on the first hole, I'm like, dude, like, what's up with the pants? It seems like an odd choice. I am sweating my ass off right now. And he was like, honestly, I got up this morning and I didn't have any other clean clothes. Nothing? And we teed off at noon. Like, you didn't think
there was time.
You didn't think this was going to be miserable. So my day was a 6-hour round, super long, and it was just one of those times. Like, I knew once these guys started, like, once guy on 1 shot an 8, I was like, oh, this will be interesting. Then this other dude started making like comments about his dad, and he was just pissed at everything, thinking he should be a +5 and he's a 3. It was like, this is going to be a long freaking day. So
yeah. Well, now that we got our weekend golf out of the way, everyone had a great time golfing except for Teddy.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention that we actually have our first guest joining us as the Pitchmark Collective. His name is Tyler. And, he's a good friend of mine. He's a good friend of Teddy's. Justin's never met him. He evens out the playing field when it comes to lefties. Unfortunately, he stands on the wrong side of the ball, but he's a pretty good player in his own right sometimes. So without further ado, there he is, T. Bell. What's up, Tyler?
I think you're maybe overselling golf talents, but I appreciate the compliment there.
The fact that you're lefty,
nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Don't listen to these two.
You should have just wrote
that.
Yeah,
well, the good thing is there's probably 4,500 Tyler Bells in the gen system, so we're good.
One of the more common names in America for a golfer, probably. Yeah, Tyler Bell.
I appreciate you guys having me on. I appreciate you guys accommodating my schedule. Had the kiddos' first swim lesson today, so that's
number 1. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And he's still around.
You got him back home, so it was successful.
Well, ironically enough, we walk in the swim lessons, and my cousin and his 4 kids are also with the same instructor. So talk about distractions. Yeah. But no, we're good. Again, appreciate you guys having me on. Excited to talk US Open. Excited to talk Pinehurst. Let's hop into it.
Yeah, I kind of want we just covered like our weekend golf. We're slow rollers here, Tyler. We set an agenda and then we just talk. So we got to cover the Memorial. I'm sure you've got some input there too.
We might have
just
some.
recap that real quick. Tyler, what are you drinking right there? Nice little pink drink.
It's Starbucks.
Oh,
nice try, Cam.
It's literally the only caffeine there that I consume. So you got the good stuff in here though.
What's in there?
A little bit of blue raspberry Live Pure.
There you go. Live
plug.
Pure.
Can anyone at Live Pure?
Just cheap plug.
Yeah.
This is who we get if we actually got at Live Pure. It'd be Tyler. So he's here already. We need to add.
Can we set it up?
No, you don't get me. You get Megan. So but then Megan sends it to me and is like, "Who are these people?"
We'd end up at you either way. So
yes,
yeah, perfect. All right, so the Memorial. Overall, a good tournament in my opinion. The course got harder and harder as the week went on, right? A lot of big names missed the cut. Teddy, what are your thoughts on the Memorial this week as a whole, and then get into – go ahead.
Yeah, I think it was nice that it wasn't like a runaway like it's been most of the year. Obviously, Scotty was leading, and so we kind of assumed he would hold on, but – there was so many guys that were within striking distance, and it wasn't like an insurmountable lead. All it was really going to take, and like he wasn't playing particularly well, but like he wasn't making a bunch of putts or anything like that. So it was kind of nice that there was hope that somebody was going to actually like take this from him. Obviously, that didn't pan out, but I picked him to win. So ultimately, I was okay with how everything played out.
I mean, Sunday was one of the more exciting rounds of this year for the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
We had two of our superstars. I mean, Colin's a superstar, I would say, right? Like he's in that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
He's a house cat.
Okay. He doesn't like green pants. That's all I know from Full Swing. So
he's a house cat, and he puts he puts the milk in the bowl first. Like
he also puts shoes on his dog.
Okay.
Well, he's
I'm
from
starting
LA,
to not like Colin a little bit more as we talk about him.
Don't ruin this for us, Tyler. Like first time on, you're already crushing dreams. But I thought it was awesome to actually watch those guys go down the stretch because we all knew Adam Hadwin wasn't going to do anything. I mean, that was like
he chipped in for birdie on one, and I was like, oh, he's gonna.
I was gonna say he started off
at it.
He started off strong, but you know he's not going to finish that way. But I mean, Colin and Scotty were trying to give it to each other back and forth. Literally, like Scotty missed those 2 putts. I was like, oh, Colin just has to make a few here, and unfortunately, he didn't.
So there was only 5 people under par on Sunday out of what 50, 65, whatever it is, ends up at.
So I think the bigger stat is on Sunday there was only 2 rounds in the 60s, and the golf course absolutely showed its teeth. I think from a viewing perspective, you got something this week that you don't see week in, week out, and that is the golf course not only fighting back, but also watching. I mean, Sky shot 2 over and still won by 1. Yeah. And I think what people don't realize is how good he actually did play. And, Morikawa shot 71 and put himself in a position to win. I mean, he had a chip for it. Was that on 18? And
I thought he made it. I thought it was gonna be real exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I think if it goes to a playoff, it probably doesn't favor well for Scotty. But I mean, I think at the end of the day, you saw 2 players that have elite skill traits just absolutely fighting the golf course. And I think those are the tournaments that I would tune in for week in, week out. Don't get me wrong. Love Sanderson Farms and love seeing guys shoot 27 under par as well. It gets old week in, week out.
Yeah, but I think after Valhalla, like we all wanted to see something like this, not like the US Open, obviously we'll talk about here in a little bit, but like it was nice to see him be like, oh shit, we can't just throw darts everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, I'll just ask you guys this. I don't know how many of you guys have the scoreboard up, but how many guys were under par? What spot on the leaderboard did even par come into play?
Yeah, I mean, if there was 3 people that shot in the 60s,
tied for 12th.
Because I didn't even see
you have the scoreboard open. Thank you.
Yeah.
But Matt Fitzpatrick came in with a 69, which I didn't even notice how well he was playing. He moved up 17 spots on Sunday.
Yeah, he was one of 2 rounds and 2 sub 70 rounds on Sunday.
Shout out to Shane Lowry for busting out an 85.
Dude,
totally
380 plus rounds. It's a good prep to this week coming up. I mean,
from a firmness perspective, yes. From a golf course perspective, absolutely not.
No, totally different. I understand that. Yeah.
I was at that course last year. I think I was there on Thursday is when we went. And the cameras do not do that course justice. Like, one, it is immaculate. It's in beautiful shape. But the undulation up and down is crazy. And that tee box, what is it? Is it 16 that has that par 3 that's long? Yeah, it's 16. Something like that. So, or no, it's 12. That is so long because it's like 220 yards. Sorry.
Yeah, but that's a 7 iron for these guys. That's the thing is I get what you're saying. I mean, 16 is 203 yards. 12 is 175 yards on Sunday. I mean, at the end of the day, the golf course has always been phenomenal. Obviously, they did some massive renovations to it, and the fact of the matter is this golf course will always be greener than green, and the rough will always be grown up, and it will always be a ball strikers event. And that's why Tigers won it, a half dozen times.
Mm-hmm.
It is truly, obviously this is why Scotty, Scotty's the best ball striker in the world. So he's the best player in the world.
He's pretty good.
So,
we all had fun watching it, right? But we had some picks coming into it. So, I don't know.
I'll let you guys make. I'll let you guys.
I'll
let you guys go
Tyler
ahead and
about
make
this?
yourself look stupid.
Oh my gosh,
Whoa!
No, I look stupid, but
Teddy
TL2
came in
over
hot
there.
this week.
Yeah,
Teddy picked a winner. Congratulations, you picked the number one player in the world.
Yeah.
Well, I also with the live, I got some points.
So no joke. Cam called me this morning and was like, and I was like, hey, what are we expecting? Like, first off, what can I bring to this podcast that the three of y'all can't already bring themselves? And he's like, oh, well, we'll talk about Memorial. We'll talk U.S. Open. We'll talk about the live event. And I'm like, what live event?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, there was an event in Houston. And I'm like, what?
It was pretty under the radar.
Well, again, you're not on.
Everyone knew
about
it.
I don't get the CW. And even if I did get the CW, I don't think it's on TV.
Even if you did, it's still, the audio sucks. Like, how they set up the entire visual sucks. Like, I'm not a fan of CW.
Well, and then I do a little bit of research. It was at the Golf Club of Houston, and it's congratulations.
Well,
your event was an absolute dumpster fire.
It's kind of unfortunate because I feel like the past couple live events, it just kind of worked out to where it seemed to me that it started to gain some traction, either just with viewership or just through the social media, the guys that were winning. And the fact that Memorial was a pretty exciting tournament comparatively, just absolutely destroyed live this week. And most people probably share that same sentiment where it didn't even remember that there was a tournament.
It didn't help that
Honda Open, Zurich, 3M.
Yeah.
Schedule it those weeks.
Yeah.
You have the PGA Tour schedule years in advance.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I don't care about live. I don't care. It doesn't bother me, right? I have a ton
live
of
golf,
clients.
not live pure.
Excuse me, live pure. Love it. Live golf. Don't care. Have a lot of clients that are live golfers. Again, at the end of the day, I don't care. What people do with their life is not my problem. But just help yourself out.
It
also,
seems like
they could go and do instead of Anthony Kim and Hudson Swafford being your wild cards, that would be your perfect thing, your perfect angle with the YouTube qualifying thing. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Then maybe kill somebody off at the end of the year. Who's ever in debt left? No, I'm kidding.
Well,
beheadings, year-end beheadings. It seems like they're trying to
talk about taking relegation to a new heights, right?
They've been doing tournaments the week before majors.
Yeah, they do that. Well, what was it, Teddy? What was it 2 years ago? They did it at Crooked Cat right before the Masters.
Yeah, that's a good spot for it.
Yeah, perfect crowd.
What is Crooked Cat? I've never heard of this.
Even the top names on the leaderboard for live. I picked Joaquin, so I was actually paying attention to it because on the second day he was great, and then all of a sudden on the third day he's ended up in 15th or something. It was crazy. Everyone just fell apart, and the only thing that anyone could remember from live this weekend is going to be the fact that Rahm withdrew.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's tough to sell, Carlos Ortiz and Adrian Meronk battling for their first live event win, and Meronk just kind of pooping down his leg at the end there. But
yeah.
All right, so let's. Memorial was fun. It was great viewing. We'll go through the picks because you TL2 you ended up cleaning up this week.
Yeah,
I did. It was a good week.
So Teddy picked the outright winner of Scotty. So that's 3 points right there.
Real tough decision there.
We texted our live picks to each other. So Teddy picked Bryson to be outright winner. Dead last be Andy Ogletree. And then the team event would be the Crushers, which he swept on. So he's got 3 points there. Bryson was closest to winning. I picked Cam Smith, who I think shot +5 on the last day. So that's sick. And I think Washington did about
he
the
tied
same.
Anthony Kim.
Yeah, I was going to say,
he ended up tied
Anthony Kim didn't come in dead last for once. It's awesome. Baby steps forward.
Mm-hmm. And then, Teddy, you are now winning. You got, I think, 6
It was a big week. It was a big week.
Up by 2 with 12 points. I have 10. Justin, unfortunately, did not get any points this week. I got 1 with my DFL pick of Andrew Putnam at the Memorial. So Teddy jumps in front quickly 1 week.
I'm excited. I'm excited for my Chambers.
He's picking Scotty again. So he's picking Scotty.
We'll get there.
So how do you guys do? So I know you guys have just started doing something newer with your picks, because I know you were doing like who was going to finish the highest, like who was the worst pick, right? Like you guys, are you guys? So what are the stakes for your season long race?
So it's still being talked about. Okay. We've floated that the loser pays for a golf trip for the other 2. You
can't do that with Cam. He'll win one for like $36.
Look, I'll take that. I'll take it. I don't care. Either that, or were we saying that the 2 losers pay for the trip for the winner? It was something like that.
We said something like the 2 losers split it for the 3.
Or you can just be the friend that gets invited. That works.
I'm still waiting for that invite. So.
Dude, if it happened a month later, it'd probably be us 4 going. So just keep that in mind, for consolation purposes.
Fair enough. All right.
So let's go to the U.S. Open.
It's at Pinehurst. Let's get at something better. Yeah.
Justin wants to stop talking about the points.
I'm gonna make a comeback after this week.
He says he's gonna make a comeback. Doubt it. Tyler, I think you've been
probably a better chance of the Mavericks coming back, but
yeah, that's not looking good for the old Mavs.
So here, since we've got Tyler on, what is the quintessential U.S. Open for you? Like, for everyone gets to answer this, because I think this is interesting. Like, when you think of a U.S. Open, everyone pictures a course or they picture a round. Like, what is the one thing you say U.S. Open right away? That's the course, and maybe that's even the player.
You want me to start?
Yeah.
I will probably say the most controversial thing is sure as hell is not Pebble Beach. I loathe Pebble Beach. I hate seeing it. We've seen it enough. I get super excited for Pinehurst just because I love when the U.S. Open is places that are publicly accessible. But for me, when I think of a U.S. Open, the first thing that pops in my head is a place like Oakmont or a place like Marion, which very fortunate enough just played there a couple weeks ago. It is a true test of golf, and that is, to me, the U.S. Open is open to anybody that can qualify.
Yeah.
And so I love the idea of tough, playable. I always love it when they take a place like Oakmont and they stretch it to where it's a par 70 and it's like, okay, this is awesome. I mean, I'm fortunate enough. I know Cam just got back from Chambers Bay. I'll be there in 2 weeks. I'd love to see it go back to Chambers. I can't wait to see it post renovation. But when I think of U.S. Open, I like when they take it somewhere that you don't often get to see it.
Are you going to be up there for the KPMG?
I will not. I am going the week that I'm at Chambers. I'm doing the Chambers Bay Summer Solstice. So we're going to try and play as many holes of golf as I can from 3. I think balls in the air at 4 a.m. And I think the last putt has to fall before 9 p.m.
Oh, that's cool. So
my quintessential U.S. Open is a Oakmont, Marion. And then if I have to pick public, it's a Pinehurst.
Cam, what are you going with?
I don't really have any thoughts on, I guess, course. I'm excited it's at Pinehurst this year because, as we've alluded to, Tyler and I will actually be there in August playing number 2.
Still don't know why Teddy didn't get invited, but
Yeah, we can take that.
Yeah, we probably should just not talk about it.
Teddy's going to leave the podcast now. So I'm excited to go there. Chambers Bay a couple weeks ago was awesome. It's really cool to be able, like Tyler said, play the courses that these guys are playing. So when they do the biggest tournament for the U.S. Of the year at a public place, it's great. I don't necessarily know if last time I was at Pinehurst, Martin Keimer won at 9 under, and then Ricky Fowler was tied for 2 at 1 under. I don't know if I want to see a gap like that. I'd like to be close like the Memorial was, where we're coming down 18 and, it comes down to a putt. That's exciting. Venue, like I said, I'm excited. It's at Pinehurst. I'd like for a big name to win it. I like it when these guys who have won multiple majors keep growing that number. But then at the same time, it's like it'd be cool if somebody grabs their first, say like Victor Hovland, Ricky, those guys. So that's my thought.
Eddie?
Yeah, I think for me, Tyler wants me to say Shinnecock. I would say
I just want to use the Zach Johnson meme if they've lost.
I probably wouldn't say Shinnecock. But I think I do like Oakmont. I think I liked Chambers Bay. I think when I hear U.S. Open, though, I immediately think of Bethpage. I think that's like the, what was it, 02 when Tiger won it, and then when Glover won it.
In the rain.
Like those two U.S. Opens are like the main ones that stick out in my head, along with Chambers Bay. It kind of sucks the way it all played out with Chambers, but hopefully, have they announced going back to Chambers Bay yet?
They're not. They haven't announced going back to Chambers, but there is a USGA event. I think it's might be
the girls was there last year. Wasn't it last year?
I thought that was a couple years ago. So I've got. So Teddy, one of the cool things is the USGA is blasted out all of the sites for quite a while.
Yeah.
And so I think one of the really cool things is that they're going to be mixing in a number of really fun spots, kind of as you were just talking about with the, seeing a different golf course. But JL, I'm interested to hear yours because I do want to talk about some of the future sites.
I'm 100% Pinehurst. Like Pinehurst, watching Payne, that was like I loved Payne Stewart. I mean, I've told those guys, my junior year in high school, I wore knickers like our entire team did at state. Like I was just a geek when it came to Payne Stewart. So whenever I think of US Open, it's just that. Like 3 years ago, I had to go to North Carolina to go visit a customer, and I drove the 90 minutes just so I could see the statue. I didn't get to play, didn't have time, but
they've moved the statue this week.
They did. It's weird that they did some of that stuff.
They like cut it up out of the turf.
Yeah. And okay, so then the other thing that they did for this event, which was crazy, is that they cut up an entire fairway and laid asphalt so that they could actually have like vendor areas and tents. So
yeah, but I think they did it on one. Nobody likes one. It'll be okay.
Well played. Yes.
It'll be okay.
But speaking of future sites, Shinnecock is in 2026, Teddy. So you could have said it.
The only reason I said it to Teddy is because the first thing that, like, when I think of Shinnecock US Open, I think of Corey Pavin winning with the ugliest iron set of all time. And Teddy and I will send
the VAS.
Yeah. So Teddy and I will send like equipment back and forth to one another. And it's like
most of the time it's good stuff, but occasionally
but those weren't.
Occasionally it's bad where it's like, what are we even looking at right here?
So the cool thing is they go back they go back to Oakmont next year, Shinnecock, Pebble, Wingfoot, Pinehurst, Marion. And I think the coolest one on the schedule is in 2031 they go to Riv. So you'll have 2031. It'll be at Riviera. Unfortunately, the very next year it's at Pebble, which is kind of a bummer.
Do you think Riv can actually play to a U.S. Open?
Oh yeah,
I think it could. Yeah,
you think it could be that tough?
the winner of that event is normally when they host the LA Open, it's like 8 to 9 under, and they can. It'll be interesting to see if they pull a 2021 where they host the LA Open, or maybe they'll play it somewhere else, which I can't imagine that they will. But where you'll have, like in 2021 Torrey, they did play Farmers at Torrey, and then the golf course just played completely different.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Riv can. I mean, you saw LA. Just imagine how difficult LACC was, and then kind of bigger ballpark, but smaller. Like they can shrink those fairways really, really tight.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, people have circled that one on the calendar for a while. I mean, just think about it. 2028 Wingfoot, 2029 back to Pinehurst, 2030 Marion. Marion is like Marion stretched out as sub 7,000. They played it at 6,800 yards, and it was soaking wet in 2013. And I think Rose won it even, maybe one under, might have been one over. I can't remember.
On that
but
short, of course.
But and the golf course got a ton of rain that week. Like there was guys that didn't get practice rounds in. But you go 2030 Marion, 2031 Riv. Like that'll be the best stretch of US Open golf that you're going to get for quite some time. Other than this year Pinehurst, next year Oakmont, back to Shinnecock.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of like yardage, right? Cam and I were talking about this earlier. They stretched this course out to 7,500 yards.
Yeah, Pinehurst is going to. I mean, Pinehurst will always play firm and fast, and so you're going.
It's not really 7,500.
No.
Well, and any PGA Tour course isn't really as long as it says, but it's still a length that you've got to play to, and you got to hit fairways.
I mean, let me pull this.
Where you go in the woods, I guess.
But you're going to have par threes that you're not going to be able to just hit a 7-iron into, even if it's 200 plus, right? You're going to see guys hit 5-iron into longer par threes that, again, you can't float it up in the air and just hope that it stops because it's going to be rock hard. One of the things that I think people forget is in 99 when Payne Stewart won and Tiger pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed all day. Tiger was chipping with a 3-wood.
Yeah.
Obviously technology's changed. We saw the video of Tiger and Charlie hitting chips around the green this morning with, I think he had a 4-iron. But I mean, this is what, you'll see more putts from off the green than you will in the Open Championship. So this golf course, short, like at 7,500 yards, even a short hitter is still in play. Because you have the opportunity. Like this is like Brian Harmon can get up and down from anywhere. He's a guy that drives the ball up in that's ass. Like this is something that I see a guy like that, and I'm just like,
Teddy's eyes are just like turning beet red, and he's getting so angry right now that you're talking about Brian Harmon. I love it.
I'm okay with Brian Harmon.
At the end of the day, like the great thing about a Pinehurst is 99 Payne Stewart. Actually was there. I was there as a kid in 2004, watched Michael Campbell, whatever, hold on for dear life.
Somehow make so many damn putts.
Right. Runs in 700 feet of putts on Saturday and Sunday.
And doesn't ever do that again in his entire career.
Yeah, never to be heard of.
Yeah.
Well, he's an instructor now. I want to say he was like Jason Day's coach or something like that just recently. And then 14, Keimer, right? Like, this is a guy that literally 14 was like the greatest year of his career because in 2010, he completely lost, or after 2010, he lost his game because he tried to. What was it today? He tried to hit it. Wanted to learn how to hit a draw.
Yeah, either draw or one or the other. Yeah,
it was just for Augusta. It was just for Augusta. So, anyways, this is an event that brings out, like, in my opinion, there's no clear cut favorite. I mean, obviously Scotty's at the top, but you know, I was talking with some of our guys today. Like, these guys are pumped. Like, this is what these guys want week in, week out, is firm, fast. You know, I'm not going to sit here and soapbox for JT, but you've got to be able to shot shape here, and it has nothing to do with, like, you know, like Augusta, like you have to be strategic off the tee. Like, no, you have to be able to hold a green here. And, you know, again, like, this is going to come down to ball striking and putting, and who does that better than anybody. Right now, it's Scotty Scheffler. Like, it's hard for, like, you know, we talk about, like, you know, Harman. Like, the problem is there's no trouble, right? Like, there's really not, like, there's not a ton of trouble.
No, you got to get a bad break in some of the, or a good break, depending on how you want to look at it. But in those natural areas,
that's sand, right?
Yeah, that's just gotta hope it's not in one of the little bushes.
Yeah, I mean,
for the most part, like, those are kind of built up too, so like it should kind of like weave through and be okay.
Par will win you the U.S.
You bring up a good point though. Like, okay, we were talking about it earlier about driving, right? So you don't have to be the best driver of the ball here. It's proven, because it's hard. Even the short guys, someone like a Harman, they can hit their 280-yard drive and still get it out there longer than that, because it's going to be fast and firm. But you don't have to be a good putter either. Or
no. I said you do. I said it's ball striking and putting. Okay. Right. I mean, to win the U.S. Open, you don't have to be a good putter. You have to have a good week, right? Like, I don't think Wyndham Clark is the best putter on the planet.
Wyndham Clark is already complaining about it being too hard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, this is.
He said it's on the verge. It is Monday, Wyndham.
Borderline was the word.
10 years. 10 years, right? 10 years. 2014. Like, go back and watch the 2014 Open. It is like, go watch the race for second, because there was nobody coming close to Keimer.
Shout out to Eric Compton, Ricky Fowler.
I think Eric Compton, last I checked, he was in jail. Like,
well, he was tied for second in 2014.
No idea.
Yeah, well, and then he needed a new heart after that. So how did that work out?
Yeah, I think also the last time I checked, he was like sponsored by Encore. Shout out to the Birdman, because I think those are the golf balls place.
I mean, I'll take an Encore sponsorship.
I'll take anything else to pay me.
Yeah.
That being said, we are open to sponsorships, listeners. So send them our way.
But I mean, you know, at the end of the day, like, anybody can win. I mean, Michael Campbell was a sectional qualifier and won in 2004.
That's crazy.
It is undoubtedly the People's Open, right? Like, that's what this is. And it is something to where you have to just put yourself in the right spot. I mean, if you are strokes gained, probably, I would say maybe strokes gained even putting wise, you're fine. Because Wyndham was negative, wasn't he?
Probably. I mean, he's not been playing outside of the.
I was going to say Wyndham's not the Wyndham of last year. For the
first couple of days at Augusta, that was pretty much the last of them.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Pebble Beach. He played well, but it was only three rounds. So maybe he's pushing himself to really go to the. Looking at the odds right now, the U.S. Open odds, we got Scotty Scheffler at plus 300, Rory at plus 1,000. Then it just
the fact that you can still bet on Scotty and make money is astonishing to me.
Yeah. But then you've got Xander, it jumps to 1,200. Victor, I don't think he's got the wedge game to actually figure out Pinehurst.
God, no.
Colin, I think, is a great option at 1,600, but I don't think he can actually hit. I mean, he does hit fairways, so maybe he will figure it out. He is a ball striker, or at least he's been known for it in the past. Then you got Bryson, who's just going to bomb and gouge this entire thing. So hopefully his new 3D printed irons are good out of the sand for 90% of his shots. I mean, is that what you see Bryson doing?
So here's the thing with Bryson is, does he have to hit driver?
No.
He can still hit 3-wood, and it's longer than 90% of the tour. Like, if Bryson's putting well, I think
that's the main thing with him. It's like, it's also some of those Pinehurst, you don't necessarily have to hit those touchy wedge shots that like sometimes he'll struggle with a 6-iron long.
You don't have to have a ton of feel.
Lob wedge. No, and you can kind of bump and run it around there, or putt it. So he won't necessarily be as exposed there, but I can also see him just mentally, like, if things go south on day one,
just gonna crumble.
South being like 4 or 5 over, where like he's not out of it, but somebody came in at 2 under and got a pretty good start. Yeah, I don't know if he'd be able to bounce back and stay in it and put 3 good rounds together after that.
What's the weather? Do we know what the weather looks like for the week? Oh,
hot as shit.
Perfect.
89 on Friday or Thursday, 94 on Friday, 92 Saturday, 90.
Are they getting any rain? Because they were supposed to.
No.
Okay, so
Florida's getting all of it. We're supposed to get 4 inches this week.
Last week, I think they got rain. They said they were going to get it this, so it just went straight down to you guys. So it can make it even more humid in Florida for you.
Personally, I think I like Brooks odds at 2,200. Brooks Koepka.
You're saying other than Scotty, like Brooks is the next one that you're like, well, that's decent.
I think Brooks's mentality fits this because he is play a super hard course. He's not ever going 20 under. Like, he just wants to make those pars and a few birdies, and I think it's ideal for him.
He won a U.S. Open at 17 under.
Yeah,
I know. I'm just saying, like, the majority of it, he's not the guy who's gonna he doesn't want that. Let's go deep every single time.
Yeah, I mean, not looking. I don't have the odds up in front of me, but looking through who's in the field. I mean, I like a guy, like a JT Poston, obviously from North Carolina, grew up playing Pinehurst. He also, pound for pound is like statistically one of the best players on tour. Is this his week to break out? I'd love to see it. Obviously, for my guy on good friend Aaron Fleener, who's his caddy. Again, I think that there's somebody like that would not surprise me to pop up and make a run, but also, just like looking through some of these names, you've got guys like Sepp Straka.
He's playing good too. Yeah, I mean,
he fell apart a little bit, down the stretch this weekend, but he's been there in big events. What do you get out of Thagala this week? Is this something that can he put it together? This is kind of a golf course that sets up well for somebody that can hit long irons. And I mean, there's not many players on tour that are the ball striker that Sahith is. What do you get?
I'm gonna throw a name out there that Tyler's gonna really enjoy. He's lefty. He plays. I think he's played number 2 quite a bit, but it's Akshay Bhatia. I want to see where he finishes this week. I think
just rolls his eyes.
Moving on. I think he has not shown up this year or last. But this is a golf course that does set up well for somebody like him. What about Cam Young? He's bombs the golf ball. Unfortunately, he's kind of got a 2-way miss right now. That's the only thing that
what about Patrick Cantlay?
I think it's a kind of a great setup for somebody like that too. I would love to say Will Zalatoris, but until I see him figure out putter, I have no faith in putting any faith in him. I think pre-brain injury, this is a golf course that sets up well for somebody like Gary Woodland. But unfortunately, I think we've probably seen the best of Gary's days. Probably one of the nicest guys out on tour. But again, you take his the traditional way that he plays a golf course and what his strengths were earlier in his career. I mean, it's hard to find. Like, again, like you look at it, like what he did. I mean, he was one of the best long iron ball players, you know, on tour. And so, you know, again, the great thing about Pinehurst is wide open from who can win it. I mean, again, just looking through this, like, what happens if Jordan gets a hot putter?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, let's go.
Cam would cream his pants.
Oh, absolutely. It would be great for sales, by the way. But you know,
Cam creaming his pants or
no,
winning
the speed part.
Okay,
thank you.
Thanks
but
for
also,
clarification there, TL2.
You know, again, like there's so many different people. Like you have a guy.
What about it? Here's
Rory?
Here's a weird one. Adam Scott.
No.
You don't think he could?
No, I don't think that Adam Scott has.
I don't think he wins again.
Yeah,
his game's just not there.
He'd win like a Honda Classic, but I don't see it, and I'd love to be wrong.
I just think from the ball striking, obviously he's always had a little bit of a putter issue, but I mean he can drive it.
Yeah, I mean
hit long irons.
Yeah, I think like a guy like Jake Knapp. Like, do you try and overpower the golf course, hit and driver everywhere?
Or mini driver?
Yeah, a name that I just scrolled up and saw. I don't know what his game's been like, you know, the last couple of weeks, but just phenomenal ball striker and phenomenal just guy that just pours in birdies. Two of them actually, Chris Kirk and Russell Henley.
Ooh, throwing out some dark horses.
I mean,
I like Russell Henley.
Henley just putts the absolute shit out of the golf ball.
Yeah. And
Kirk is a phenomenal ball striker. I just, outside of Scotty, like if you could find an odds maker that would give you Scotty versus the field,
it'd be tough.
What are you going to do? You know, like we're literally just at this point I'm throwing shit against the wall.
Yeah.
And because there's so many people that could win it. But of all the people that we've named, I'm still taking Scotty.
Yeah.
There's a ton of people that you can throw out there that potentially will do it, but that's the great thing about PGA Tour is like it takes the one weekend for someone with a hot putter to all of a sudden change the entire outcome of this tournament.
Yeah, absolutely, especially the U.S. Open.
I mean, someone that wasn't thrown out was Tony Finau. That could be kind of fun because he's a ball striker, but wedge game's
probably not going to throw that one out.
Wedge game's going to get in the way with him.
Yeah, I did tell the putter. Just the putter, right? Like that's the biggest thing. Like I know Teddy, you just threw out Ludwig. Like would love to see it. Is he healthy? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Cam, is he healthy?
Somebody at Ludwig, please.
Oh.
What about?
I haven't got an update from him. I'm sorry, man.
You know,
text messages from his mom.
He's busy. It's the U.S. Open week, all right.
Fair.
What about Max Homa? Is this the week that he finally puts it together?
I don't know. Last time I picked Max Homa to win it, he got DFL. So
it's because it wasn't in California.
That's actually happened quite a bit to Justin's picks, guys. So
yeah. So watch out, Tyler. If you want someone to win, just don't let me pick that person.
I'm thinking, should we have Justin pick first this week, just so that like
he has
maybe we know if no.
So you can ruin Scotty's chance is what you want to have.
Well, no, not necessarily, because he might not pick Scotty.
You want me to ruin the best thing in golf right now? You want me to literally pick Scotty and screw it for all of us who are enjoying this epic run he's on?
I have a feeling if Justin were to pick Scotty tomorrow, the Louisville Police Department, like something that got missed,
issues
will come
a
out.
Warrant. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's gone.
They're like, he pissed in the stall. That doesn't happen.
So we might need to test this theory and have Justin pick Scotty. I'm thinking about it.
Cam's thinking so hard. He's not even like smiling. He's just like thinking with a grin, which is
he's scrolling.
I was trying to think of a nice way to say hell no.
So I think he's just worried to figure out what's either going to come out of my mouth or B, what's going to come out of Teddy's mouth.
or see what's going to come out of his pants. Yeah. So should we? And we're done.
Is there any amateurs that stick out that you'd like to see compete or think will compete, like, and be there, say on Sunday?
I don't think that there'll be. I don't think there'll be anybody that is there on Sunday, but I do think a guy like Luke Clanton, who had a phenomenal NCAA tournament, and then also had a phenomenal year all around. I mean, obviously, you got guys like Gordon Sargent's in the field. Talk about a guy that would love to just watch hit 2-iron off of one tee all day.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's so much speed.
Do it again, Gordon. Do it again.
Do it again. Again.
One more time.
Just that Herb Brooks, the scene from Miracle. Again. Blow the whistle at him. I mean, Hagestad's in the field. Like, get a real job, please. So that
I was going to say, are we counting him as an amateur? Or?
Right. We'll see. I mean, Valdez is in the field. He made a good run at the NCAAs. Obviously, just coming off the national championship with Auburn. I can't.
Sam Bennett, Parker Bell.
Well, Bennett's a pro now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's on the Korn Ferry Tour. But yeah, I mean, Sargent. I'd like to. I mean, Sargent had a somewhat of a rough year. From he obviously won the PGA Tour U last year and didn't have a great year this year. I mean, there's a reason why he's coming back to college. And now, the cool thing is he will not lose his exemption on tour. But he was advised to come back. I think his game struggled a lot this year. But we'll see. I mean, you got Brian Kim's in the field as well. He won I think he's the youngest player in the field. He won the Junior Am last year. Had a great season at Duke. I mean, there's a lot of good names. And Luke is, to me, he's a Florida kid. Obviously, goes to FSU. He was a top ranked amateur. Coming out of high school. I'm super excited to see what he does. He's also played very well in the Pinehurst area. He made a deep run in 2021 at the U.S. Junior, which was at CCNC. He's just a good player, and he's fun to watch. And excited to see what he does. I mean, he's definitely somebody that if you can find odds on making the cut, me personally, I would probably throw something on that.
I got a question, Shakara. He's playing.
Eugenio?
How did he make it into this? Isn't he a live guy?
He qualified out of Dallas. He qualified out of Dallas.
Qualifier, yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
He qualified out of Dallas, and there was another one. You talking about? It's Nico, right? Or are you talking about Eugenio?
Eugenio is who he's talking about.
Okay, yeah, I think both of them qualified out of Dallas, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So might have been the same one. Might have been the same qualifier.
Interesting. That's cool.
I don't know how to.
My last question for the group before we get our picks. My last question: what does Tiger do this week?
I think he makes the cut. I think it's going to be kind of like how it has been with him, where it's coming down towards the end on Friday, and he's like within one, either on the right side or the bad side of the cut, and either gets it done or just kind of holds on and ends up making it.
For his
Tyler, you've been on property. What's the walk like? What's Pinehurst number 2? From
it's
physical.
It's not flat, but I mean it's not one of these Northeast courses. For Tiger's sake, I hope he chooses to not wear cotton on Thursday and Friday.
He's not doing himself any favors with wearing his shirt that he's just sweating through the entire tournament.
Sweat through everything, but I mean it's not the hardest walk.
Okay.
I mean it's.
I think there's other courses there that are a little more severe in some of the elevations. I feel like number 2, it's a lot of subtleties and especially around like the greens and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine what we play at like Trinity Force. Like that's what it'll be like on Friday.
Gotcha.
Also, finally found Shakara because his last name is Lopez Shakara.
Yeah.
After scrolling.
Typical hyphenated last names.
They both
I don't think
qualify
Woods
out of
is
the
making
Dallas
the
qualifier.
cut.
You think he is?
I don't think he is.
Resident
put him-
Nike guy does not think Tiger's making the cut.
But part of me is saying I don't think he's making the cut because it's the JL curse. And if I say he's not, there's a good chance he's playing pretty well.
He's top 20, and then since Justin says not making the cut. Got it.
So, all you listeners, maybe throw a couple bucks on
For Tiger
Tiger
to make the cut.
making the cut or top 25 finish at this point.
Yeah.
He didn't play in 14, right?
He did.
Oh, he did. Because I know he got hurt at the end of 15 or 13. Because I saw him win the Players in 13, and that was the year I want to say he won. Might have been the year he won PGA Tour Player of the Year. And I think that was the year was it the year Horschel won?
Oh, you know what? He did not. He did not play.
Yeah, Tiger hit a shot at might have been what was the Northern Trust, and he tweaked his back. And I don't think he played in the President's Cup that year either. I could be wrong, but I don't see his name on that.
No, I just Googled 2014 U.S. Open, and it says he withdrew because of back injury prior to the event. So, because he would have made it on the exemption or whatever. Less than year. So, yeah. I think I like Teddy's take. I think it's just going to be par for the course of what he's been doing, just hanging around, being 1-2 off the cut, and then probably doesn't do much on the weekend. I'm wearing Sunday red hat. I want him to do well, but I think it's time to accept the fact that old boy is done. So
there were some comparisons going around like Jack, and Jack saying this was his last one and then comes back, and now they're starting to throw that around there around Wood. So it's kind of interesting to hear that.
I think this is the last year of his exemption, isn't it?
Yeah, that was the other thing they were talking about. Like he's going to have to get sponsors that are going to just let him in at this point. So,
well, Tiger's exempt in almost every event, except for the elevated events. But this is his last U.S. Open exemption because Tiger, obviously, he is the career money list.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Teddy, I have an interesting little game here. Who finishes with the better score, cumulative score? A couple of names from yesteryear.
Do we all get to pick and we get a point for it?
I will leave that up to your podcast. Eduardo Molinari, the forgotten Molinari brother.
He was the better one at the beginning.
Yes.
People forget.
He's the skinnier of the two for sure.
Yes, and taller.
Matteo Manacero.
Mm.
Where did he go? Ryo Ishikawa.
These are some good names.
Yeah, where?
10 years ago, these were big names.
Yeah.
And last but not least, 12 years removed from leading the U.S. Open with braces, Bo Hostler.
I'm gonna go with
Bo.
I'm gonna pick.
Yeah,
Bo to
it's
have the lowest score.
It's tough with Bo because
Can't putt.
yeah. I mean, like I was watching him for one of the practice rounds at Sawgrass this year, and I mean it kind of hurt to watch, and he was by himself, and I mean we were on 9. I was greenside on 9. And he just threw down like a couple golf balls. He hit a couple chips, threw down some golf balls, and was just working on speed and line and everything. He probably hit 20 putts, and he was putting to the hole. Nothing even came close to sniffing the cup. It was brutal to watch.
The first year of WGC match play when it was in Austin, he was out there. This is when he was still at the University of Texas, and he was out there and just was absolutely just blackout drunk. It was funny. It was him. I don't know if you remember Gavin Hall. He was a lefty, played at Texas. And Scotty was there. Those teams were just deep. Like, it was insane how much talent was on the team. But yeah, Bo was.
I mean, I want to say Rio. Like, I remember when Rio was coming out, and like it was just so exciting. I mean, he had all of Japan, like,
oh yeah,
just riding on his back, and he was going to be like the next great one. And then it just never happened.
It was the same thing. Manacero had that huge deal with Callaway and RLX.
Yeah.
Titleist. Like, he is, I mean, I think he still has a deal with RLX, but I mean, he was, like, if you opened an RLX catalog 10 years ago, he was on the cover of it.
I'll go with Bo, only because it's a 50-50 shot where, like, he might actually play well. So I'll go with Bo, but God, do I want Rio to like just somehow get like a sneaky like top 10 on Saturday and just bring back all of those good memories.
How old, if you had to guess, how old is Rio Ishikawa?
Right now, well, he's probably
got to be mid-40s, right?
Not what I would have guessed. I just looked it up. He's 32.
Really?
Yeah.
I was going to say 30 or 31 because he was around my age. I remember that.
Manacero's younger than that.
That's crazy.
How old is he?
31.
28? 31? Yeah. Damn.
All right, so let's take it a step further. Let's do social media influencers. Akshay Bhatia. Let's see who else we have here. Zach Blair.
Yeah, I saw him on there.
Bryson's a YouTuber now.
That's true.
Bryson, we can't put Bryson in that category. It's just not fair. Let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to scroll fast.
Zach Blair's been playing kind of pretty good.
Yeah,
he's been consistent.
Pinehurst is a really good spot for Zach.
Yeah,
it's kind of like his course when you look at
somewhat
pictures of it.
Somewhat, for sure.
Tyler's been to the tree farm. He knows.
Yeah, but I played it in that freaking tropical storm. But let's see. Get those two.
I don't really see any others that I would consider like a true YouTuber.
No.
You know, Bryson has like 500,000 subscribers.
We'll throw Minwood Lee in there.
Let him cook.
And then we'll round it out with
Tiger Woods.
Did you see the video of him talking to the squirrel today?
What?
No.
Minwoo Lee, the squirrel, was just following him because I had like food out or something. He's like, "Not today, bro." He's like getting scared at some point. It was kind of funny with his Australian accent.
Yeah, we'll go with those three.
So it's Minwoo, Akshay, or Zach Blair.
Phil Mickelson's kind of a YouTuber at this point.
Is he?
Pros vs. Joes.
His first video wasn't bad. I actually kind of liked it.
Is that the one he did with Bryson?
No.
Or with Brendan Todd, or not Brendan Todd.
Steele.
Is Brendan Todd in this event?
I don't think so.
He is.
Is he?
There's only a few names we haven't said at this point.
I'm gonna go with Akshay. I think he's got a lot of personality.
Shocking.
You know, Tyler doesn't like Akshay.
It's not that I don't like him.
But no, I think it's Akshay. I think he actually plays pretty well this week overall. So
fair.
I'd say Zach.
Yeah, I'd probably go with Zach too. I just feel like
I'm gonna go with the guy that can putt.
Yeah, it's also kind of a home event and stuff, so that's not a bad pick.
I don't know. I don't watch enough of Minwoo Lee to have an opinion.
I think everybody wants Minwoo Lee to like be good and start winning. Just it's not happening.
So you want me to pick him so that he finishes dead last?
If you could, that'd be great.
You could just ruin his career by keep picking him every week. That'd be great.
Yeah.
All right, last one. There's 4 guys in the field with the last name Kim.
Pick a Kim.
Pick a Kim.
Tom.
Okay. Surprisingly, all 4 are not Korean either.
Fair.
I'm going with Siwoo.
You know what? I'll take the amateur. I'll take Brian.
Okay. What's surprising is all 4 of them, or the 3 professionals, they have all had solid seasons.
Mm-hmm.
So
What is up with every Korean in the whack?
It's a huge brand over in Korea.
I know, it looks so weird, and how he's got it set up on his shirt. It looks like all of it is ironed on. Yeah. Like, oh man, that's brutal.
Yeah, it's
SH Kim has it that way.
Yep.
Teddy, your boy Sun Kang's in the field here.
I know. I saw that.
The only reason I pick Siwoo Kim is because I love Bibigo commercials. You know, like it's got a jam, and you can buy them at Costco. So I gotta put some coin back in Siwoo's pocket.
I should have picked Siwoo Kim because I love Bibigo little wontons. You know.
Yeah, those things are delicious.
They're good. They are good.
So
all right.
Should we get our picks for cut DFL and outright winner?
Absolutely.
Okay. To confirm, there is a cut line this week. It's confirmed.
Can we have? Okay, I was gonna say.
I texted Tim Hunt.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can you have Tim Hunt confirm that, please?
Hashtag be better.
Be better.
So, per our standards before, Teddy, you'd be first since you had the most points last week. Do you want to concede your first pick to the last person?
Justin. Or why don't we have Tyler? Why don't you go ahead and pick? We'll do a guest pick.
And we can't pick amateurs for deadlat. So.
I would agree with that.
Okay, so I was saying, what's the criteria for this week?
Just no amateurs for dead last. I think that's probably it.
I mean, there are a couple old ass guys in there, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Martin Keimer's been field. He could probably finish dead last.
For DFL, I will pick. I'm going to pick Charles Ryder.
Oh, okay.
He is a local qualifier.
Yeah, I was surprised he was a pro. I thought he was an amateur still.
Yeah, he said it turned professional in 2022. Are we doing a low am as well, or no?
No, low am.
Okay.
Cut.
All right. So
cut line.
Are we doing all 3 at once? Okay.
Yeah.
Cut line.
It was +5 in 2014.
Yeah. We'll go +7.
Ooh.
Spicy.
Carnage.
Ooh.
And then outright winner. Scotty.
Yes.
I don't want to pick him, but it just with you when nobody.
How do you not?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that makes things interesting for us 3 on the season long thing, right? Because now it can be anybody. So we got Tyler at Scotty, outright winner. DFL Charles Ryder, and spelled Reiter. I found that out. And cut line at +7. That's a hefty cut line. Just so I know, Tyler, what do you think the winning score is going to be? You think it's under par?
-3.
-3.
Yeah.
I think the USGA would be happy with that. So, all right, Teddy, you're up.
It's probably going to be -27 now.
You don't have. I didn't say it. We're good.
Are you the new Justin? Is that what's going on?
No, but every bet that I had Cam throw on the Masters was just donation.
Who did you pick for the Masters?
Well, I only bet Sunday.
Oh,
and that wasn't no, it wasn't the Masters, PGA. Sorry.
Oh, gotcha.
Big Bob was 3 weeks late.
Fair enough. I'm gonna go for DFL. No amateurs, including Big Stu.
It wouldn't surprise me if Haggerson makes the cut.
No, probably not.
You're going to shoot 70, 73, 73.
This is tough. I almost want to pick like a bigger name. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it. So I'm going to go Dustin Johnson as my DFL.
Shots fired at
Wow.
I think I feel pretty good about that one, actually. I think he's going to struggle, and I think the two no names that you guys pick are going to just end up playing better than DJ.
See, I wasn't going to pick a no name, so you might be surprised at mine, but carry on, Teddy.
Fair enough.
I wanted to pick Robert Rock, but the fact that he's likely not going to be wearing a hat all week.
That's the thing. If so good. Because of the weather and stuff, he's going to be hatless. He's going to be looking good out there. He's probably not going to make the cut, but he's definitely not going to come in last. I'm going to say, so DJ for my DFL. Cut line. I'm going to go ahead and I feel like there's just going to be a pretty big spread between like the guys that are competing after the second round and everybody else. So it might get up there. I kind of like Tyler's train of thought. I'm going to go 6 over for my cut line. And then for my winner, so a couple weeks ago in our early picks, I said Bryson. I'm going to stick with Bryson. Yeah, I don't know. Could be good, could be bad. I don't know. We'll see.
So we got Bryson outright winner, +6 for the cut line, and DFL is Dustin Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Surprising. Okay, so I'm up.
Yeah.
See, my DFL I was going to pick is Sergio Garcia.
Oh.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Carbon fiber putter.
Picking Serge.
Perkins.
Cut line. I mean, Tyler kind of set us up to just have a difficult conversation here at the +7 mark, right? Because I don't know if I want to go +8, but I also don't want to go +5. I don't know. Do they play the course better? I mean, like, do they score low? I'm gonna go +5. Just commit.
Here's what I can tell you. Highly, highly, highly unlikely that they water the golf course at any point in time after tomorrow.
That they water the golf course? Is what you're saying?
So you're saying I could hit 360-yard drives? Yes. Let's do that.
So +5. Hope I win. Fingers crossed. And my outright winner. Scroll up to the top here. Just because I want him to win, and I've picked him a few times this year to win, I'm going to go with Ludwig.
That already tucked it in when you were scrolling.
You're lucky I didn't pick Jordan. Tyler got me hyped out. Tyler hyped me up earlier when he said, what if Jordan gets a hot putter? I'm just going to be honest with you.
It's possible.
So, we're going Ludwig.
I am scrolling through all these random names and just like looking at what their qualifying score was. There is a guy in the field who is a professional who got through local qualifying over par.
What?
Yep.
At what qualifying event?
Granite Bay in California. And then he shot 70-69 at Pronghorn to get in. Joey Mercic. You can't pick him now that I said it, though.
The score that qualified in Collindale where Eddie qualified was
6 over par, wasn't it?
No, it's 2 under.
What was the one? Was it a sectional qualifier where the wind was blowing like 80 miles an hour?
Yeah, that was at Walnut Creek.
Right.
Where it was crazy wind.
Well, even the wind, I mean, Pronghorn's 40 minutes from me, and it was blowing 35, 40 miles an hour. Like that course would have been crazy in that wind. Mm-hmm. Visually, it looks so narrow, but yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, Walnut was the other Colorado one. I'm sorry, Tyler, for local, and then sectional was Pronghorn, where it was super windy. Those were the two really windy
gotcha
things I know about, actually. So, all right, Justin, you're up.
All right. So DFL, I'm going with Jim Herman.
Oh,
okay.
I don't think he's
like
gonna be
the nicest person
alive.
Just out here throwing bombs at Jim Herman.
I gotta try and get something going here.
The guy's got scoliosis, and you're gonna pick him to finish dead last. Actually, this bodes well for him.
Yeah, he might actually win. He might actually win this week.
$10. What's up, little dude?
I'm talking to my friends. You want to say hi?
Hi.
That's a loose term.
Friends.
All right, so I'm not going 8, so I guess I have to go +4.
All right.
It's gonna be like +10, and you're gonna.
Yeah, totally. And then, gosh, I keep waffling back and forth on a pick.
Who are you between? Let's talk this out.
Whose career do we want to ruin?
Yeah,
ultimately, you pick, but let's hear kind of who you're waffling between.
Honestly, I keep going between. I want to see Brooks win, but I don't think his putter can get hot enough to do it. And then I keep going to Colin because he's been playing so good the last couple weeks, and he's got a chance. So
who was the first guy?
Brooks. I mean, go with your gut.
What does that gut tell you, bud?
What's that gut saying? Bust that gut, Justin.
Bust the gut. You know, we're going with Brooks. I think he's gonna.
Brooksy boy. Right.
I don't mind more out.
I don't mind.
No, I don't either. I think that's the better of the two.
I think there's a ton of names left on the board. Like we said, there's anybody can win this week.
Yes. Well, there's Scotty, and then there's like 20 other people.
Like one that's way out there that I would love to see happen would be JT. I would love to see JT come through and win.
JT Poston?
Have the most Thomas.
Justin Thomas.
Yeah, Justin Thomas, JT. So I would love to see that happen. So.
Well, this is going to be an exciting week.
Here's Bowden.
Pretty.
You say hi, Cruz.
We got a kid's birthday party going on now?
We just got invaded to Teddy.
Birthday to Teddy.
Oh my gosh.
Your parents sent us an invite. Surprise
today your birthday, Teddy?
Mom! Meatloaf! Come look!
Just had a few guests crash. Bowden and Cruz are good friends, good pals. Just wanted Cruz to say hi. Sorry for the disruption.
No, I think we're pretty much good at this point. We have babbled on for an hour and a half.
Yeah, we got a lot to say. We had somebody very knowledgeable on the game of golf join us tonight with Tyler. So we appreciate that.
Little questionable.
You'll probably see him a few more times, in the coming months on the pod. We're working with his agent on getting him booked, for a few more episodes.
My wife. My wife did throw a grenade at you, and it was like, "Can Cam's podcast get a little bigger before we schedule a Monday night?"
Yeah, I mean that's fair.
Morgan, if you can hear me, I'm working on it. Okay.
We're trying things out.
Have her skip to this mark in the timeline, Tyler, when she listens, because I know she's an avid listener. So
yeah, just blur the kid's face out.
Just let her know. We just got a logo. We just changed the name.
Yeah, I got
full
yelled
rebranding.
At. I got yelled at because I didn't know whether I followed you guys online or not, or on Instagram or not, and I threatened to get kicked out of the Pinehurst trip.
I mean, could we follow through on that? I mean, because that means one of us.
We are too far down the road.
I think Daniel January probably gets in before one of y'all.
That's fair.
No, he's not on the podcast. If I had to redo it, there'd be this group of 4 right here.
Man, that's
because there's an opportunity for content here, buddy, with the podcast to have all 3 of us on there, essentially for free, playing a week of golf at Pinehurst.
You're not doing yourself any favors by continuing to throw all of this out in front of those 2.
Yeah. They know.
No, it's fine.
I've talked to them.
I requested the days off work just in case.
Yeah. And told his mom he needs a ride to the airport.
Right, and told my mom
this is a bigger deal.
When to drop me off.
He's ready for the standby waiting, over there at Jacksonville Airport.
The bags are packed. Clothes are ironed.
Did Cam tell you my travel debacle? This will probably get edited out of the podcast, so I don't really give a shit.
I don't know if Cam edits anything. So
yeah, I don't think he knows how to.
We'll bleep it. We'll bleep it.
Oh, I don't care.
Just one big bleep.
Right. It's emergency test signal, right? So I have to go to Bend the days before this trip for an event with Troon and whatever. But I have to now fly from Tampa to Portland on Thursday night or Thursday morning, whatever. And I'm in Bend, so I'm in Oregon.
That's where I live.
Yes, I know.
Oh,
I heard you. So anyway, so I'm at Pronghorn for 2 days, and then I fly out of Portland at 12, at pretty much 1 a.m. on Saturday night, Sunday morning. I don't remember what day it is. To Raleigh, into Pinehurst. I land 7 minutes before Cam does. And Cam's like, "Oh yeah, are we still playing golf on that morning?" And I'm like, "No, absolutely not."
Why didn't you fly out of Redmond? Why are you going to?
Because I would have had a 4.5-hour layover in Seattle. I would much rather.
Oh, I just always go Denver.
Yeah, I'm a Delta guy. So, but anyway, so here's the kicker of all of this is I am leaving Thursday and coming back the following Friday.
Yeah, that's tough.
It's going to kill me.
Does she even know?
That's why he's whispering right now.
Yeah, no. She knows that I'm going to Pinehurst. She did ask me the other day. She's like, "Do you think that we could potentially cut down on the length of that trip?" And I'm like, "There's always that possibility. Especially Teddy, with you living, that's what, a 6-hour drive. So if I do the big thing on that trip for me is I want to play 2 again,
of course,
right after the Open. But the big thing on that trip for me is I want to see 10.
Yeah, 10
really,
awesome.
Really want to see 10. I've been pushing Cam, get a replay round on 10.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it will not be affordable in 2 years. But I've also been pushing.
We can only book a week out. I'm working on it.
I've also been pushing Cam to drop 8. So that's been with our group has been why is this guy pushing to get certain replay rounds on certain golf courses? I'm the only one in our group I've been to Pinehurst a number of times.
I've been to Pinehurst. I played number 5, which is probably the least Pinehurst course you can play.
3 is awesome. We will find a way to get ourselves onto 3 outside of the group, outside of the trip, because 3 is 5,100 yards. It's just awesome. I'd rather play 3 than play the Cradle.
You've played the Cradle before, though.
Yeah, but mainly because the Cradle's off of mats, and it's just stupid. But anyway, so I'm going from Tampa to Oregon to
Raleigh,
and then Raleigh back to Tampa. And ironically enough, for the Chambers trip, I have to go Tampa, Seattle to Raleigh to Pinehurst for the LPGA has their LPGA Foundation has their girls national championship. I'm like just prepping the body for that one.
Yep. Just racking up some points. That's all.
Just racking up miles, especially because they're
after walking 72 holes at Chambers Bay, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna sleep good on that flight.
Well, no. So actually, what I did is when I booked the flight originally, I was going to fly out at midnight the following day.
Okay.
There's no chance I'm getting on an airplane without like 12 hours of sleep or recovery, because I get really bad cramps on flights. Like when I was coming back from New Orleans a couple weeks ago, it was awful. I see stuff in my seat. But
people asking if you just gotten
it was one of these. It was like turned sideways and like the whole just stretched the leg out into the aisle as they're giving you in-flight service. So but no, so when I had to change my flight to go to Raleigh, I was able to book at like 6 p.m. So that's good. So I've only been to Seattle a couple times. It's just one of those places I really don't have a ton of like burning desire to get out west that far. But there is a guy that we do a lot of work with that is a member at Sahali, and that's like 2 weeks before the KPMG.
Place looks so cool.
Yeah. So I know the last 20 minutes of this podcast, everybody has been.
Everyone is now officially asleep.
Yeah. All right. They've been asleep. I mean, we were done at 1 hour and 6 minutes. So
yeah. All right. Well, let me get an intro or an outro recorded so we can edit all this out and have a nice outro. So Tyler,
an outro?
Huh?
Are you big enough for an outro?
It's just going to be me saying thanks for listening. Go like, subscribe, and follow on Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify. We are the Pitchmark Collective. Tyler, thank you so much for joining with your golf knowledge. Looking forward to having you on in future episodes. Teddy, any closing words? No.
Nope.
Justin, any closing words?
Fix your pitch marks.
Fix your pitch marks. Thank you again, and we'll talk to you next time.